Hello, my name is Jamie Lowther, and I am the Chief Operating Officer with Concensus Technologies. It is my pleasure to introduce you to one of our valuable customers and tell you more about our partnership. Located in the Twin Cities, Hamline University is Minnesota's first university. They have students from 38 states and 35 countries with a total of 2,900 graduate and undergraduate students and 500 faculty and staff. Today, I am joined by Anthony Schroeder, the Director of Infrastructure Systems and Services at Hamline University, and Andy Coles, a Senior Identity Management Engineer here at Concensus Technologies. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Anthony, tell me, how did you find Concensus Technologies?
I think it was related to implementing our identity management solution originally. Concensus had written the driver for our enterprise resource planning software at the time, and we contracted with them to help us out implement that driver and Novell's identity management system to sync our identities.
Okay, great. And when you were looking for an IT partner, what was it exactly that you were looking for in a partnership?
Well, for us, the partnership piece is very important. I mean, we wanted to build a relationship rather than just purchase services. Being a smaller institution, we often require creative solutions to our problems, and having a partnership allows us to work together to find those creative solutions.
Okay, great. So when you were searching for a partner, you said you had some issues that you were facing. Who was most affected by those issues, and how did Concensus solve the problem?
Well, I mean, as the IT staff responsible for the systems, I mean, sometimes it felt like the IT staff was most impacted by the issues because we were the ones that were answering the support calls. But in the end, the solution was to help out our students. Our primary issue at the time was resources. We didn't have enough resources and enough depth of knowledge to implement identity management to quickly start taking advantage of the efficiencies that would provide. We knew that implementing identity management would help us increase service for our students, but we didn't have the resources to get there quick enough with all of the other responsibilities that we had. Concensus was able to guide us through the process and get us working very quickly. More recently, as we wanted to implement new features such as integrate with a new HR system, provide two-factor authentication, we again found ourselves requiring additional assistance. We were able to work with Concensus and their primary support engineer program to implement these new features and functionality quickly. Again, this allowed us to get further faster without providing more burden on IT staff. And in the end, it ends up serving our faculty, staff, and students.
Great. Okay, that's good to hear. So Anthony, you work directly with Andy most of the time. So tell me a little bit about that partnership with Andy, since he's your primary engineer dedicated to your account.
Well, I consider Andy to be a part of our team. I mean, we have weekly meetings, which we discuss the upcoming priorities for Hamline and how we can use his skills to accomplish those goals. We also like to bounce ideas off him. We can tap into his experience working with other customers to help solve some of our challenges. I also appreciate that we have ongoing access to Andy's expertise. If we have something that comes up, I can contact Andy to have him help us take a look at it and address it rather than waiting for approval for the next consulting engagement. And because Andy works with us continuously, he is familiar with our environment and can make recommendations on places that he sees we can make improvements as well. Or if we have certain issues that we want to address, Andy is able to quickly assess what the scope of making those changes would require.
Yeah, one of the parts about being on your team, I know we're regularly involved in direct communications, not only just through phone and email, but also the direct messenger, where we can have those immediate questions and answers, and that response to handle those quick needs.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Anthony, why would you recommend working with the Concensus team?
They have been a partner with us since the first day we started working with them, which was many years ago. They're very customer focused and work hard to help us provide value to our community rather than just trying to sell us products or consulting hours. Concensus was the one that suggested the primary support engineer program as a way to help us upgrade some of our old systems, implement some new integrations, and help us with continued support. If we had to do that through consulting hours or support engagements, we wouldn't be able to get as far as we did.
Okay, thank you. And how about any impacts that our partnership has helped you with? Is there any financial aspects that you think this has definitely helped you out with, or anything that you can tell me about there?
Well, obviously, we've seen a quick return on investment for our identity management and authentication services that Concensus has helped us implement. As a school, we have a lot of turnover when our students graduate. If we would have to maintain that manually, it would take a lot of time and effort and take time away from our IT staff to be able to help the needs of the students. Plus, it gives better service to the students. Their account is already provisioned and rights appropriately assigned when they come to campus, rather than having to open a help desk ticket or wait for someone to do something. From a security perspective, we are frequently praised by our auditors about how well we handle account maintenance. It's easy for us to show the auditors that the automation that we have through identity management and how that account is automatically provisioned and deprovisioned depending on their status in HR, which makes the auditors happy and allows us to make sure that we, sorry. I'm sorry. I keep that one and I could. Do we want to just do that question again?
Yeah, we can, yeah. Okay, so, hey Janice, this is where we need to cut this part out.
And then I started laughing.
Okay, so how do you want me to word that question? Just tell me about the return on investment that you've seen since we've partnered. Do you think that would?
Yeah, I mean, I think, tell me about the impacts that our partnership has had for you in, return on investment or.
Okay, all right, I'll just, okay.
Client.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
I didn't even do anything.
Way to go, Andy. Okay, here we go. Anthony, tell me about the impacts that our partnership has had for you.
We have definitely seen a quick return on investment for our identity management and assessment.
Oh, we were doing so good.
Access. Access. Access.
You ready? I'll ask you again.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right. Tell me about the impacts that our partnership has had for you.
We have definitely seen a quick return on investment for our identity management and authentication services we have implemented with Concensus. As a school, we have a lot of turnover when our students graduate. If we had to maintain those accounts manually, it would take a lot of time and effort and take away from IT's ability to serve our students directly. Plus, it gives us better service to the students as well. Their account is already provisioned and rights are assigned when they come to campus rather than having to wait for a help desk ticket and someone from IT to implement those access rights. From a security perspective, we are frequently praised by our auditors about how well we handle account maintenance. It's easy for us to show the auditors the automation that we have through identity management and how an account is automatically provisioned and deprovisioned depending on their status in HR. This helps us meet a lot of our compliance needs.
Wow, that's great. That's great to hear. Last question, what long-term challenges do you hope to address by continuing our partnership?
Well, I think that one of the keys to our ongoing success is the primary support engineer program. We are constantly needing to move further faster, and having Andy as a part of our team on an ongoing basis greatly increases our capacity to do that. We have the flexibility for using Andy in different ways as our needs change, rather than having to wait for a project to get approved. Right now, we're balancing a bunch of different projects and in both identity management and access management, from SAML authentication to upgrading our systems to two-factor integrations. As needs arise, we are able to address them quickly with Andy's help. This process would be much more difficult if we had to assess the project, get a quote, get approval, and then schedule the implementation. With the primary and support engineer program, we can skip right to the schedule the implementation portion. It's always been an adage that the only constant in IT is change, and we have learned this especially in the last couple of months. We are working with Concensus to migrate our services into Concensus's data center to help us manage the high availability and maintenance of those services so that we can concentrate more on how to deliver learning in our new normal.
Great information and feedback. Thank you, Anthony. Andy, I really want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to talk with me today. We certainly look forward to a long partnership with Hamline University.
Thank you.
Us as well. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yep.